ছুটির এই সুন্দর একটি সকালে আমি পিঙ্কি মারিয়া আছি আপনাদের সাথে উইথ প্রাণ মিস্টার ম্যাঙ্গো প্রেজেন্স তারকালাপ। আর আজকে আমাদের সাথে আছেন ক্যানাডিয়ান দুজন ফিল্ম মেকার মিস্টার মার্ক শেক্টার ও মিসেস ন্যান্সি ট্রাইটস। Hello, how are you?
Hi, great.
How are you doing? I mean, how are you feeling? It's your first visit to Bangladesh, right?
First visit, we're so excited. It's terrific. I can't wait to get out there. We haven't really been outside yet too much, but it's very, very exciting to be here.
All right, so you couldn't get enough time to explore the whole Bangladesh yet, or
Not
Dhaka
yet.
city yet?
Not yet, but we will.
All right, and what about you?
It's wonderful. The people so far, I mean, we arrived yesterday after a lot of flights from Canada, about 30 hours all, but since that time have had wonderful food, enjoyed immensely, enjoying just the little we've seen so far, and we look forward to a whole week with a lot of events planned and getting to know everyone and to see more of the city.
All right. I'd like you to tell our viewers about why you are in Bangladesh now. I mean, I know the reason why.
You know the reason why, but you...
I would like you to, tell our viewers that why you are in Bangladesh right now.
There is this wonderful festival for children, children's film, and my film for Angela has been invited to open it. And so I'm here to do workshops, and we're going to be doing workshops with media, but it's for the Children's Film Festival. So this is really, really exciting because it's something very dear to our hearts in terms of children, films. So it's a wonderful opportunity.
All right, and you were just accompanying her for the workshop.
Right, I carry the suitcases. Yes, no, we have the opportunity, which we love to, in addition to Nancy's film being presented, to work with the children. We've done a lot of work with children, and starting with theatrical work and into films and TV. And the magic of children we very much believe in, and having the opportunity to participate here is just a gift to us too.
It really is.
I'll get back to you regarding the For Angela, your film.
Yes.
But before that, I'd like to ask you, well, you're a partner in First International, and
Yes.
you're a real-life partner too. So how you're managing all these things together? I mean, being husband and wife, you are working together.
Right.
Do you maintain your personal life and professional life?
Well, I think first of all, on the professional side, she's the best I know in terms of writing and producing. So that was a no-brainer. It just so happens that we fell in love too, which
That was a no-brainer.
and that was a no-brainer. But I think that there's a lot of advantages if you're working together and you can create something together. The main thing is you have to find that wonderful balance between your professional and your personal life, because you're working all the time.
Exactly.
And you are traveling, and we do a lot of traveling in our work as well. But it's effortless, and people often ask us, well, how do you manage this?
Exactly.
And it is, we don't think about it. We just have organized our time such and have priorities.
But part of it is too that when you're working on something, there can't be ego. You have to have, it has to be about the work. And so both of us are mature enough and are just, it's who we are, that we really focus on the work. So you can have disagreements. It's not like we both see things the same way all the time. But when you're focused on the work and when you love the work, then it's really about the work. So we come up with ideas together, we bat them back and forth. I'll write a draft, he'll write a draft, and it goes back and forth until we both go, yes, that's really good, you know. Or the advantage too is that when you're running a production, when you're running a whole lot of people in a production, I'll take this area, he'll take this area, and it's just a real team that we know that we both manage people well, we get a good end product, but we love what we're doing. So it's a really, and you know, early in our relationship, we would sort of say, okay, this is us time, so lunchtime, no talk about work, or you know, certain times of the day, no talk about work. Now it just sort of flows. At this time, so just say, let's go for a walk, or let's go for a date, or whatever. But he's my best friend and the smartest person I know, so why wouldn't I want him as a partner?
All right. So whenever you're just making some, documentaries or film or any TV program, so what you're giving more emphasizing to it? I mean, which one do you give the more importance to it? Which one comes in your mind?
Whether it's film or documentary?
Yeah, in every single sector, I mean, documentary or film or in TV series, which one do you, catch the most from there? I mean, which one?
You know, it's like asking about your children. It's like saying, which one is your favorite child? whatever project you're working on, we made a commitment to each other a long time ago that we would only do things we loved, only. We have that same rule in terms of whether it's restaurants or people, or we only do what we really, really like doing.
All right.
Yeah. And so when we choose a film project or when we choose a documentary or whatever it is, it's because we really, really like it and because we're passionate about it. So whatever we're doing at the moment, that's generally our favorite, just because we're concentrating on that. In terms of, I love doing children's. I do love doing children's. But I also love feature films that aren't for children, and I love, right now we're doing a series called Jerry and the Raiders, which is, it's the first, you know what motion capture is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like Avatar, except it's for children, and it's animation, but it's motion capture. So we're doing it the first in Canada to do it. So we're creating the software, we're doing everything, so it's smile recognition, it's face recognition for the motion capture. So writing it, it's such a wonderful challenge because it's neither animation or live action. You've got both. So it's finding your way in the middle of writing for live action, but really writing for animation. So, you know, we love it.
I think essentially the answer I would give would be just a passion to create. It's like a painter. What was your favorite painting? I think they would have trouble. It's the action. It's the joy of the process. And if you love it, then you should do it without limitation. And the only other thing that we would add on the professional side is that we want to work with people that we also enjoy very much and who can contribute in ways that, you know, in terms of a collaboration. So we pick our projects and the people we work with very carefully and find that mix. But if everybody loves what they do and are very dedicated to it, then it's not difficult to come up with something that everybody can be proud of.
All right, I'll just interrupt for a bit. One caller is waiting out there, so let me just speak to him for a while. Hello, কে বলছেন? কোথা থেকে বলছেন? Hello? Hello? I guess he or she, the person got disconnected. I'm really sorry, আপনি আরেকবার চেষ্টা করুন. So I'd like to ask you about Angela. I mean, what's the movie about? I heard it's about racism, so would you please describe us a bit about it?
It's interesting because it's based on a real life story.
Okay.
I lived in Winnipeg for many years, and in Winnipeg there we have a large Aboriginal population that comes from the north and from all over. It's primarily Cree, or there's different groups of Aboriginals there. There was a woman who was taking her child to school, and the child was bullied. And instead of doing anything about it, at first she just sort of withdrew and didn't want to do anything. And finally she went to the school and confronted those kids.
Okay.
A young man who was probably 20 at the time wanted to do a film on it.
Okay.
So the film board, the National Film Board, called me and said, we have this young man who wants to do this story, and he's written a script. It's his first time, so he really doesn't know how to do it. Would you be interested in taking him and mentoring him to make this film?
Okay.
So that's where the film came from, but it's about the courage of a mother and her child to really confront what it feels like to be an outsider, what it feels like to be put down because of your color, because of your race. And taking the courage to say, no, you don't have a right to do that to me.
All right, so it's really inspiring. I mean, inspiring for every single one.
Absolutely.
I'd love to watch the movie.
I hope you do.
Yes, I will, of course, I promise. All right, I will just take a short break right now.
Great.
Can I? Right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, দর্শক এই মুহূর্তে ছোট্ট একটা বিরতি নিয়ে নিচ্ছি, কোথাও চলে যাবেন না, we'll be right back. যেমনটা কথা দিয়েছিলাম, বিরতির পর আবারও ফিরে আসলাম। আমি পিঙ্কি মারিয়া আছি প্রাণ মিস্টার ম্যাঙ্গো প্রেজেন্টস তারকা লাভ নিয়ে। আমার সাথে রয়েছেন কানাডিয়ান ফিল্ম মেকার মিস্টার মার্ক শেক্টার এবং মিস ন্যান্সি ট্রাইটস বটকিন। So we were talking about Angela, right?
Yes.
So why do you love to work for children? Why do you have a passion for working with children or working on children?
When you do, let's say if you do a TV series for children, you have maybe 15 minutes a day that you get to speak to them, Children come from all sorts of homes and backgrounds. But if you can say to them in that 15 minutes, you're wonderful, your choices are great, who you are is terrific, and give them a tool, just one tool for 15 minutes. If you can speak to 10 million children, think about it. You're in their home. It's just them and you. And you're able to say to them, you're the best. How good is that? There's just nothing better.
Yes, that's true. That's the best feeling ever, you know? You get it.
You can change their life, because even if they're from a horrible home situation, they can say, I know it can be different. I know I can be different. I know I can be treated differently. So it makes a huge, huge difference in people's lives. It can change how they view themselves, how they view life.
All right. So you are getting the inspiration from your family. So tell us something about your family. I mean, something very funny thing happened in your family, or when you're working together. Just share it with our viewers.
Well, I can give you my perspective on it. But we just got together, and our relationship was growing. And I had a series that I had created that we were in production, and I had brought Nancy aboard as the story editor. That's someone who reviews the quality of the scripts, makes changes. Now, of course,
Writes them.
what the problem
Rewrites
is not the problem, but the potential problem is that if I write a script as the creator of the series, and she doesn't like it and has to tell me this, what does that do to the relationship, our personal side? Because that's a very personal point if somebody says, I don't like what you did, or I think you could do it better. So the opportunity for that came up when I wrote what I thought was
but before that, before you get to that point, when we sat down, he said, you know, I'd like to hire you because you're really the best story editor. So, but he didn't know my work and I didn't know his work. So I said to him, okay, here's the deal. I'm a really good producer. If you're not as good as I am, I quit. However, I said, I think I'm a really good writer, but if you don't think I'm a good enough writer, or if I'm not as good as you think, fire me. So we had all these quit fire, you know, so it would be, you know, we had outs so that we could quit or fire each other, because we said the most important thing is our relationship. Our work will always be there, but we will protect that. So now.
So I write these 2 finale scripts to end this particular series.
But understand, and let me interrupt you again, but understand that a story department, what they do is they beat out every beat of the script so that it works. So the writer comes in and takes those beats and writes it. So he's a brilliant writer. So he's written the second last one. And?
So I write what I think is great. I turn it over to the story department, waiting for an approval. In other words, I trust their work, and that's how we work. So I write it, I feel fine, I'm on to something else, and she walks in.
He turns it over to us, we look at it, it doesn't match with what we've beat out for him. And it's not connecting to the last one, it has to connect to the last one. We're all exhausted, we've been doing 20-hour days, we are tired, and so everybody looks at me and says, you tell him. I said, why am I telling him? Because you're the executive story editor, so you go tell him. So I march in his office and I say, this script is terrible. Why do you have a story department if you're not going to follow our work? This is absolutely terrible. I don't know what you're going to do about it, but it's terrible. I'm thinking, I said, you can fire me now, but I have to tell you.
So what I did is I had that moment of truth where I looked at this and said, okay, let me take a look at this. I'm trying to put on the professional hat, not personal. And I said, okay. I looked over the script, thought about it, then went back to them and said, okay, what part of the script or scripts would work?
Okay.
Turned it over to them, trusting them. And they did a wonderful job, restructured it, came back to me, and I wrote it. We finished it up in 8 hours. We got it done. And that was sort of the supreme test. So nothing since then has ever been the problem, because once we realized that that was the ultimate, because what happens in partnerships, never mind work, in partnerships, disagreements that are hard to resolve. But when you're working professionally and with a relationship, you really have to come to some understanding of how that dynamic will work.
So true.
Anyway, it wasn't, because there was mutual respect. I think the bottom line is you respect another person privately, professionally.
Yes.
And if you can do that, you know, everything goes.
Everything's sorted.
Respect, and that your ego is not in the work. That your egos are intact, so that you can say, I don't like this, this isn't working, but it's not attacking him. It's not saying he is not good. It's saying this, or if he's saying this line doesn't work, and I say, yes, it does. He'll say, no, this can be funnier. I'll say, oh, okay, that's funnier. Or so that it's you're both working really hard to make it the best, but it's not about us. It's about the work.
I'd just like to interrupt you for another time. Another person is on phone right
now.
So yeah, let's just speak to the person. Hello, কে বলছেন? কোথা থেকে বলছেন?
Hello, this is Sulaiman Imran.
Okay, hello, Sulaiman Imran.
Hello, I want to talk to our guest.
Hey, sure, they're here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome to Bangladesh.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have some questions to you. Do you have any plan to visit Cox's Bazar?
He has some questions to you. Do you have any plans to visit Cox's Bazar?
I'm not sure what they're planning for us.
Yes, we know.
We would love to. We've heard about it.
We would love to. It looks amazing. I think with the responsibilities of the festival and wanting to support that, we have very limited time this visit, but we have already talked about coming back, where we would love to take a larger view of the country and that area. Also, we've read about it. We've seen the pictures on it. We studied it before we came. And even this morning we were looking over some pictures. So we would love to see more of the country. Obviously, you can't tell a whole of a country from one part, but it is our hope to return and to do it with more time.
All right. So you want to explore Bangladesh more?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I'd like to take a small break now. Can I?
Absolutely.
Okay. So দর্শক এই মুহূর্তে ছোট্ট আরেকটা ব্রেক নিয়ে নিচ্ছি। কোথাও যাবেন না। We'll be right back. Welcome back one again. Today I'm here with you with Pran Mr. Mango presents Taruka Love, and we do have our guest, Canadian filmmaker, renowned filmmaker, Mr. Mark Shekter and Miss Nancy Trites Botkin. All right, so we were talking about your funny stuffs and funny things you have done. So now I'd like to ask you something serious. You're here for a definite purpose, right? For doing the workshops, two of the workshops, that's what I've heard.
Absolutely.
So one is with media and one is with children. So would you please tell us something about the workshop?
The children's workshop is, we get a full day. 125, I know, 125 kids, 10 years old to 18, from all over Bangladesh. They're here. The workshop is about telling your stories. And so it's teaching them how to use our tool, which is about process thinking about how to shape a story. How do you take your story and make it so that it absolutely will work for your film, so there's no holes in it, so that it tells your story, so that it has heart, so that it has everything you want in it. So it's taking them through using films, using examples, so that they're actually doing it, so that they are creating their own film. They're learning how to use the tool, and then they're going to be creating their own film out of it. So cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So you're just, making them up, making them ready for making something creative from the very childhood.
Exactly, from the very beginning, so that they know, where do you start? How do you make sure all the elements are there? What do you do so that your film has power, has impact? So that's what we'll be teaching them.
Okay. And tell us something about your best work. Which one do you think your best work and your best work?
My best work. That's again kind of like asking about your children. Which child do you like best? There's a number of films that I love. Frangela is one of them, because it's had huge impact. It's been put into every school in Canada. So you look at a film, each of them tell their own stories. So that's one that's very, very important to me. Red Shoes is another one that's very, very important to me, because again, it tells a powerful heart story. To me, the ones that sometimes they're the ones that are the most challenging, but they're the ones that really tell a story that move people. And that's always my instinct, I guess, is to change how you look at something, or touch your heart, or speak for someone who can't speak, or cry for someone who has forgotten how to cry, just to move people. So
just to get more close
to reach their heart. To reach their heart, so that they say, that's my story. Because when we tell our story and it's authentic, it's telling not just my story, but your story. It's what's called universality, and it's that ability to reach inside deep and to tell something that we all relate to.
All right. And about you, which one do you think your best work is?
I was going to say the one we're working on now. Only I think because,
Really?
well, I think it's just what you're working on in the present, you put your passion into, and that becomes your baby. Because it's a good question, and I was thinking about it. The other thing I would say, I recall through comedy, because I did a lot of comedy writing, that people would call in after some funny shows, because we were writing for some U.S. stars like Jim Carrey and Steve Martin, and they would do some funny pieces. Then people would write in about that humor, and if it was satirical, what happened in one instance is that one of the states in the United States changed a policy because public reaction to the piece of comedy was so strong that pressure went on the government. I mean, who knew it was a piece of comedy, but it was pointing at something that was really bothering them. And to see the result, the impact of media on a public when it hits truth was really amazing, which is why we're very grateful to have the opportunity. The other workshop is the media workshop. And we're particularly happy as representatives of our country that we love very much in Canada to have that opportunity to bring some know-how that we have accumulated over the years and experience and share that with the electronic media industry here. We only have a short period of time, the last day we're here, but we wanted to make ourselves available before literally we go from there to the plane. But we felt it was something that we wanted to do, and it is also very much our passion that we're very grateful for what we've been given in our business and the opportunities, but we always love to share back. So on this 40th anniversary of the Canadian-Bangladesh relationship, which is an honor for us to be able to be part of this and to use that opportunity to share our knowledge that we've gained back to this community in the professional media business. So that is a very rare opportunity. It was unexpected, but we accepted the invitation to do that.
Okay, and Kanchan and the Canadian High Commission, they are jointly organizing this workshop on 24th of this month, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us more about what you are looking forward to it. I mean, how you will give suggestions, advice, and how you will teach them. What will be the main things you'll be teaching to them?
I think as Nancy was saying, as it applies to children and where to begin, I think when you look at the overall industry of media, there's so much electronics and technologies and ways to communicate through internet and mobile phone. It can look very overwhelming, but it reduces down to some real basics. And what we want to do in the time that we have of the presentation, which is a multimedia presentation that we put together especially for this community, to introduce them to the way we orchestrate an idea and how we take an idea in media and how all of the parts start to fit together, the lighting and the technical side and the narrative side. All these pieces play a part. The people on camera, the people behind the camera. How do you organize those people so that what they say and what's presented has a very, very easy and understandable message? So we have developed our own techniques, obviously, professionally, to do this, and we'd like to share that. And sort of as an introduction to how we do it. It would take more than a short presentation, but I think in that period of time, we would have the opportunity, and we're very honored to do that, to be able to present what we've learned and share that with this professional community.
Okay. So 21st of this month, 21st of January 2013 is going to be the children's workshop. So how you're looking forward to it? I mean, as you love children,
so much. I cannot wait. Last night, 3 of the organizers of it came. And so we were asking them about, had they made films? Yes, all 3 of them had made films. And the one young man, he said, I made a film about a young boy who wants to make a film, and so he can't get the money together and he can't get the equipment, so he steals the camera so he can make a film about thieves. So it's the thief who's making a film about thieves, which is so wonderful that there's this passion. We all have stories. This is a day and age of TV, of movies, that's how we tell our stories. That's how we get our stories out. So that if we can teach them how to tell stories, how to get their stories to the world, it validates each of us. It validates who we are, what the experience is. So, yeah, am I excited? I am excited.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that
Yeah,
in your face.
I really am.
I
You're
think
so
what is
glowing.
wonderful too, and very unique about Bangladesh, it's a new country
Yeah.
with a very proud beginning, you know. And what we found also, we were in South Africa and other countries like this. In this country, it is very unique. The voices to be heard are very special.
Yeah.
Their stories are very rich and sometimes very raw. With the young children, they weren't immune from all of that. They went through that with their parents and their grandparents, and they've heard stories. So that part of that tradition is also what we're hearing is wishing to be expressed. But I think in any country that is really growing up and at a rate that is amazing, to have that opportunity to assist them in expressing their stories as adults, as kids, I mean, what better use of our skills and experience to share what we've learned and make that possible. So it's amazing. I mean, we're passionate because this is what we love to do, and to do it here with such an openness and such an invitation to come and teach. I mean, you're talking, you know, the most amazing opportunity possible for us.
Okay, so you came in our TV today. You have met, I mean, quite a lot of people.
Yes.
And you have met the person who's working with Canadian High Commission, Miss Shaheen.
Yes.
Yes, and yes, I can see that you really like her.
Really
lovely.
Mr.
Yes.
Imrul from our TV. So
Yes.
how did you feel? I mean, how did you like them? I mean,
Oh my goodness,
be there?
they're wonderful. Shaheen has been, we've corresponded now for 4 months. And, you know, it was formal and so back and forth. And then it was sharing ideas and thoughts and what we were doing. She's so organized. She is
that's
like,
what I can see
She is like
when I'm seeing her.
impeccably organized, but so passionate about what she's doing, and was so generous, so kind. And but I think and she was saying, I said, what can I bring you from Canada? Are you missing? Because she had spent time there, and she said, what I want for you is, this is a wonderful trip. I said, it already has been. We're writing emails back and forth in the middle of the night. I said, before we come, even, it has been. Because getting to know you, getting to know a country is really as simple as getting to know one person.
Exactly.
If
That's
you
what
know
I believe.
one person. So already I feel through her that I've come to know your country, her generosity, her intelligence, her passion, her absolute dedication that it will be done right and that it will be done with heart. So I know that this country, this station, it's all about the one person. So has it been wonderful already? Absolutely. Are you wonderful? Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, I think too that sometimes what happens in Western societies, that they seem to have so much that they take it for granted.
Yes.
And the openness closes a little bit. What is wonderful, and I think it's very much as children, we all sort of are that way. The openness that we felt through your producer, and the willingness to take nothing for granted. We don't. When we come here, we realize the opportunity afforded us. It's not like expected. It's generous, and we accepted generously and came a long way, but we wouldn't think otherwise. And we noticed that with people, and particularly so far, and it's only been 24 hours. And we got a few hours sleep, so we can say with some kind of clarity, because yesterday we were a little tired, that it's consistent with how we were hosted, how we were met at the airport, how we are met with you and taking the time to talk to us before the interview and so on. Just talking and sharing, and you know, that enriches our lives. So you know, we're learning from you, obviously, always.
Always. So there are so many viewers out there who are watching this program right now. Would you like to pass any message? Would you like to convey any message to them?
Yes, I would. I think the most important thing is that you tell your own stories, however you do it, that you tell it with clarity, with honesty, with whatever you have, that you tell your stories, because who you are, how you live, the passion, the honesty, that needs to get out. It needs to get out to each other and to the world.
And I would add to that, agreed to that. I think the secret of any growing country, the challenge, they are challenges, no question, but the willingness to learn and to share knowledge. and ways that have worked successfully on a human level, I think is the greatest gift we can exchange with each other. I don't mean just us together, but country to country, people to people. And if we can be a part of that process, and I think to us it makes our life rewarding, and I think it's likewise learning from your experiences and growing ourselves. So I think that exchange back and forth of knowledge is
nice
priceless.
Message, really nice message. It's really inspiring. So as I was telling you earlier that we do have a quiz contest in every single year. So now this is the time. But before that, I'd like to announce today's quiz. So দর্শক আপনাদের জন্য আজকের কুইজ ডিএ তাই পরিচালিত কোন নাটকটি আরটিভিতে প্রচারিত হচ্ছে। আমি আরেকবার বলছি ডিএ তাই পরিচালিত কোন নাটকটি আরটিভিতে প্রচারিত হচ্ছে এন্ড দ্য অপশনস আর ইতি দুলাভাই, বি ক্যাপসুল 500 mg এবং সি থানার নাম শনি রাখরা। অপশনগুলো আরেকবার বলছি, এ ইতি দুলাভাই, বি ক্যাপসুল 500 mg এবং সি থানার নাম শনি রাখরা। এবং গতকালকের কুইজ যেটা ছিল সেটা হচ্ছে আরটিভির ভালোবাসা আড্ডানি অনুষ্ঠান লাভ লাউঞ্জ কবে প্রচারিত হয়, এবং সঠিক উত্তর হচ্ছে শনিবার। সো যারা বিজয়ী আছেন তাদের নামটা এখন আমরা এখান থেকে তুলবো। সো ইয়া
choose
the person's luck is depending on you. All right, so last 4 digit আমি বলছি নামটা প্রথমে বলে নিচ্ছি সাইফুল, মিস্টার সাইফুল, এবং লাস্ট 4 ডিজিট হচ্ছে 2401। উইনারের নাম হচ্ছে মিস্টার সাইফুল এবং ওনার ফোন নাম্বারের লাস্ট 4টা ডিজিট হচ্ছে 2401। All right, so it was really nice talking to you. It was really nice. I have learned so many things, and I really would love to see watch your movie for Angela. And welcome to Bangladesh once
again.
Thank you so much. Yes, I will really hope and pray that you'll have a really lovely journey in Bangladesh for next few days. Yes.
wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
So viewers, এই মুহূর্তে আমাকে বিদায় নিতে হচ্ছে, আমার প্রোডিউসার বারবার বলছেন আমাকে চলে যেতে হবে। সো ইট ওয়াজ রিয়েলি নাইস, আপনাদের সাথে ছিলাম অনেকক্ষণ। সো আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন, তারকাল আপনি আবারও চলে আসবো আগামীকাল। টিল দেন ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন।